Hi guys, welcome to another wonderful episode of the Dear Ninja Girl podcast. I know it's been so long, but we've been cooking a lot of wonderful things for you guys. Today on this episode, I'm going to be fulfilling my promise, right? Which is to do a wedding podcast episode for you guys. I have been sharing short clips of my wedding story on Instagram, and you guys asked for a full video. Here it is. First of all, let us start by saying that this wedding was, I wouldn't say it was impromptu, because I have been engaged for a while and we have been waiting for the perfect time to plan this wedding. Because first things you have to know about me is that I hate weddings, and I also hate planning things. I hate planning anything that would make me feel stressed, increase my anxiety, anything that will put pressure on me. I do not like. And I promise you, after this experience, you would understand. When I finish sharing this story, you understand why weddings are the most pressure-filled, inducing event ever. We've been waiting for the perfect time where it feels less stressful, when everywhere is just settled and it's okay to plan this wedding. And you've been waiting and waiting. I was like, look, if we keep waiting, we are definitely going to wait forever. So instead of waiting forever, how about we just do what? We just get it going, right? And that was exactly what we did. My husband and I decided to start planning the wedding. Now, I didn't even know where to start from. I do know that one of the easiest things for me to do was to sort out my court wedding aspect, which I did. All we just did was go to the local government, book a date, make payment, blah, 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 blah. Now, we were like, should we do a reception after the court, or should we just anyway, the initial plan was to do a reception after the court wedding, and then we're like, instead of doing a reception where we're going to still host people, why not just have a wedding, a white wedding? That was where my wahala started. Now, I need you guys to understand that this wedding was planned in 1 month. Maybe that was why I went through all the crazies. This wedding was planned in 1 month. Let me get down to the juicy part of this whole thing, right? I'm going to first of all start with all the things that went wrong, and then I'm going to go into all the things that actually went right. One of the things that went absolutely wrong was my wedding dress. I was super pissed. I was so upset. You guys, I contacted my tailor. Now, this lady has been making clothes for me for over 7 years. I figured, why not go with someone that knows me so well? And I think using the word tailor is wrong, because she's actually a fashion designer. She does a lot of creative things with outfits and everything. And I'm like, this person knows my body size, the evolution of my body size, because ladies, we all know that the size we wear a couple of years back is not the size we are now. And she's been through all the evolutions with me. I figured this person knows my body so well. I contacted her and I showed her this image. I showed her that this is what I want for my wedding dress. Now, I couldn't find like a wedding dress that I really liked. I want something that would be classy, something beautiful, but at the same time something that gives me room to be able to be free and feel very comfortable that day. I want to dance. That was like my own focus for that day. I want to dance. I want to drink and dance, two things. I wanted an outfit that encapsulated these things that I needed in my wedding dress. I couldn't find a one dress that fits it all. What I did was I showed her two different styles. I want the top of this one and I want the bottom of this one. And she said sure she could do it. She told me how much she was going to charge for it. I didn't even want to negotiate because it's my wedding dress. I didn't want to negotiate, so it doesn't seem like she's doing this thing at a price that she's not okay with, so she gets to do rubbish. That was when the casala started. She said we're going to go to the market to get materials. I was very busy with work, so I said, you can go. I trust you. You've done this for me before, so I know you're capable of going to source materials for me. She went to the market to source the materials. She came back. She told me that this is what we're going to use. This is the best we could do. This is how much it is. Now, it was very expensive, but again, wedding dress. I said, oh, let's go ahead with it. I paid for the material. She bought the material. She went back home. She was meant to sew a trad outfit for me, and she was also meant to sew my wedding dress for me. And she also sewed my court wedding dress, and I wasn't comfortable with what she did, so I took it back to her for her to make adjustments and all that. I told her, this lady, oh, this clothes has to be ready 2 weeks before my wedding, so if you can't deliver in 2 weeks, you need to let me know. she said she was going to be able to deliver in 2 weeks. Guys, 2 weeks I contacted her. She said she was sick, she had to go to the hospital. I'm not a mean person, so I can't like start saying, oh okay, but what of my dress? I said, take all the time you need to heal and all that. I kept on following on with her health every few days. After a week she was better, and she said she was fit enough to finish up my clothes. Now this is a week to my wedding already, right? It was a week to my wedding already. I kept following up. She kept giving me one excuse or the other, one excuse or the other. And if you're someone that has planned a wedding, if you've been a bride, you understand how much pressure and how anxious you're going to be at that time. So I did was I went to my best friend's house and I went to go and cry. And my best friend said, you know what, just give me this woman's number, I'm going to follow up with her, and I'm going to make sure that we go for fitting. I have not done fitting, oh you guys, go for fitting and all those things. She continued contacting her and speaking to her, and so she finally said, oh, you guys can come on this Saturday to come and fit the clothes. This was already 5 days to my wedding, and her place is very far at the end of the mainland. So I started traveling all the way from Aja to the end of the mainland to go and see okay, let me start using the word fashion designer, because someone made a comment on the short clip that I put on Instagram and she said, you went to a tailor, that's why it's not good. I did not go to a tailor, and of course in Nigeria we call everybody tailor, fashion designer, as long as you're sewing something. We usually use the default word is tailor. I think maybe I'll start using fashion designer so you guys can. Anyway, I finally traveled all the way from Aja to the place on the mainland, and I fitted this clothes, and guys, this is how it looks like. It wasn't even funny. It did not look good at all. Like, it was so crazy. I was so sad and I was so angry. I was mostly angry because my best friend was trying to get her to see, because I couldn't even talk, I couldn't speak. That was how upset I was. And my best friend was trying to get her to see that this is what you did not do right, this is what you could have fixed, this is what you can still fix, this is the issue, this is what is not looking good about this outfit. And this lady blatantly refused and tried to put the blame on us. I don't know how we came into the blame apportioning part, but anyway, I was just so upset. She said she was going to work on it and fix it, but that she can only deliver it 2 days to my wedding. Now by this time I already did not trust her at all. Even if she could fix it immediately, I don't think I would have been able to wear that dress, because my heart and my spirit was no longer in it. Anyway, my best friend and I will finally leave. I went back home. My sister-in-law saw my face and was just trying to find a way to make me feel better and all that, but I was so sad. Anyway, they did shawarma for me. My sister-in-law and my husband made me shawarma because that's one of my favorite things to have. I ate though. I was still sad. My sister-in-law says, you know what, let's go and see if we can rent a gown. And this is like something I didn't want to do at all. I didn't want the idea of wearing a dress that someone else had worn, and I did not like how uncomfortable most of those gowns that they normally rent are. It's always all those ballroom gowns or all those tight fishtail gowns. I didn't want any of that. But at this point, do I really have a choice? My sister-in-law had 3 kids, and we started going to different bridal dress rental places, and we're trying on gowns. And honestly, it made me feel better because it was so hilarious how I looked in all this gown. It was so funny that I couldn't even take a picture or a video of it. If not, you guys will laugh at me so bad. And kids don't have filter, so those children were just laughing at me and saying all sorts of things. I was laughing. It was so hilarious. It was such a great way to take my mind off, you know, what was happening. Anyway, at the end of the day, we couldn't find any gown that fit me. We couldn't find the ones that were my size. The ones I liked were not my size. The ones that I did not like did not look good on me. Anyway, my sister-in-law says, you know what, let us call my tailor. Now this woman is a proper tailor, not a fashion designer, just a tailor. I was very skeptical, right? Because if my fashion designer couldn't get what I wanted, what will a tailor do? Which is very bad on my own end. I know I underestimated her, but I didn't have any choice. call the tailor. The tailor comes around, takes my measurement, says, what do you want? Show me exactly what you want. Now, mind you guys, again, I had to do some research to see if I can find a simple dress that I could just get out of the way. But I also still could not find anything that I wanted in one size. Then I had to come up with 2 different dresses that had the top and bottom of what I wanted. Again, I showed her this and I said, this is the top that I wanted and this is the bottom that I wanted. And she said, let's do it. And I'm like, are you sure you can do it? She was like, yes. And then she told me how much she's going to charge. Now, the price that she charged me was like 4 times less what the other fashion designer charged me, which also increased my skepticism. Now, there's this thing about us Nigerians, right? We always feel like something is the best, something is original, something is classy when it's expensive, but we do not think that something is classy, original, or great when it's affordable. And we need to kill that mentality. Honestly speaking, we need to let go of that thing, to be very honest. I don't think expertise has to do with price, and I don't think prices determine the originality of something, right? Anyway, I pay and I told her, look, my wedding is literally in 5 days. I need this clothes latest Wednesday. She says she's going to go to market the next day, which is on Monday, and then she's going to start making it, and then I could come for fitting and then carrying the clothes on Wednesday. My wedding was on a Friday. My white wedding was on a Friday. Anyway, I left it all in God's hands. See, this my wedding was literally all in God's hands, because see, that they did not drive me crazy is an understatement. I went through a lot. Anyway, finally Wednesday comes. I had to travel all the way to Surulere to go do my fitting. I got to Surulere and I tried on this dress, and you guys I did not have to try. I did not even have to course correct anything about this clothes. It was a perfect fit. Yes. Okay, so now for the wedding itself. I already said earlier that I don't really like weddings, so I wanted this particular wedding to be as unwedding-ish as possible. I wanted to infuse elements that would make it feel very untraditional. First of all, my wedding was on a Friday, and I've always wanted to have a beach wedding. Even my husband has always wanted to have a beach wedding, even before we met. It was a really cool thing to see that we shared a couple of ideas together. I wanted to find a particular affordable resort that I could have my wedding at, and guys, let me tell you, that was so hard. When I say it was so hard, it was so hard. I didn't want to do this alone. I wanted someone who had an idea of what they were doing, because I don't know anything. And so I started looking for a brand that shared my ideal and shared my direction, and that was how I found Mitiaba Production. Now, Mitiaba Production, I met with them, I told them exactly what I wanted, and they took this and they ran with it. We first of all started with looking for an affordable resort space, and you guys, it was so hard. We went everywhere, and I didn't want to go towards all those Elashe, Takwa Bay, anything that had to do with us entering both, because my husband and his friend, that's his best man, they don't like water. They like the beach, but they don't like boats. We wanted to find somewhere that people can locate via land, and the only option for us was Okon Aja. Anyway, after weeks of finding, because I've been looking for this space like since, we finally found a perfect place in Okunaja, and it was so amazing. It was perfect for what we wanted. It had a private area that we didn't have to interact with other people, and people that were just coming into the beach did not have to pass through us or come into our ceremony. It was very private, and it was just perfect for us. And then next up, I left the whole thing for Mitiaba Production, and they did an awesome job. Like, guys, look at this, it was so awesome. They did a very good job, and they did an awesome, it was such a fun day. They did an awesome job. Well, there was a lot of drama in this wedding. There was a lot of drama, aside from finding an affordable resort space, aside from finding a rental that did not, because a lot of rental people couldn't give us what we wanted. They didn't want to rent to us things like chairs and other things, because they said it was at the beach. That's a whole drama on its own. But aside from all this, one of the craziest things that happened during this wedding was 20 minutes to my wedding, I realized that the officiating minister was nowhere to be found. Now, we had a lot of drama with officiating ministers. It was so crazy. The first officiating minister that was supposed to do the wedding called us 3 weeks to the wedding to say he couldn't do it anymore because the church had a program, and that the only way he could do it was if we moved the wedding from October to January, which was practically impossible. I was not going to do that at all. That was what happened with the first officiating minister. Now, the second minister called us a week to the wedding to say that he can't to officiate because apparently he's going to the same program as the first person, so he's not going to be available for our dates anymore, except we move the wedding to start at 7 p.m. so that he'll be able to come back from the program and then come. Now, we got another officiating minister after looking for like 3 days out of 1 week, and then we found another one, and then we discussed, and yes, it was going to come and everything. Now, 20 minutes to the wedding, we've not seen the officiating minister. We started calling, what's up, how far, where are you? And he said, oh, that he thought the wedding was the next day, which is a Saturday, because having a white wedding on Friday is very unusual. So he thought the wedding was on Saturday, the next week. I didn't have any room to lose my mind. I couldn't even lose my mind. It was so insane. This is like just a little tidbit of all the craziness that happened that day, because people that have done wedding, they should have told us that planning a wedding is insane. And it's very funny because this wedding was planned for only 40 people. I only wanted 40 guests. So we curtailed our list to only 40 people. And I imagine how people who plan weddings for 200, 300 people, how they do it, because just at 40 people, I almost lost my mind. 20 minutes to my wedding, I don't have officiating minister. Where do I even want to start from? I just thought, my husband and I said, you know what, if we get to that venue, any of our friends that we'll see will come and climb that pulpit and officiate this wedding for us, because at this point, what the hell? But anyway, my friends, some of my girlfriends came to the apartment that we got to get ready, because we didn't want to get ready anywhere close to home, and we also didn't want to get ready in a hotel because we wanted somewhere that felt like a home. We got an apartment. My friends came to the apartment to speak to me, just to see me before the wedding, and it just, now how girls do, hail you, make you all excited and everything. But when they came, I was frowning. I was so sad, because where do I even want to start from with this officiating minister thing? And then it turns out that one of my girlfriend actually went to pastoral school. Please don't ask me why this girl went to pastoral school when she's not a pastor, but for some reason she got her license, and she's a licensed officiating minister, which is so hilarious. She did this thing like 5 years ago, and I'm like, guy, what's up? What was going on that made you do this? It was so funny, but I was so blessed. I felt so blessed that day, because every single problem that came up, there was already a solution waiting to be used. I was just so happy, because right then and there, I'm like, baby, you are my officiating minister. And I loved it. I loved the idea of having a woman officiate my wedding for me. I loved it. It was so amazing. I am so thankful for her. You don't even understand. Before I could panic, a solution came up. And I need you guys to understand this, because weddings are so crazy. I'm so thankful that she was there. And honestly, we went on to have an amazing wedding. My wedding started at 5:30 p.m. when the sun was setting. It was so beautiful. We exchanged our vows, and one of the things that I was very, very explicit about for this wedding was that I wanted it to be as short as possible. I don't like all those long weddings, right? I want the exchange of vow, everything to be done in like 10 minutes. I just wanted everything to be as quick as it could be. Do you understand? So that was like my plan for the wedding, and I'm so glad, and I was so thankful that it all came out the way we wanted. Our friends and our families, everybody was seated, and then my brother walked me down the aisle. It was so emotional, and then we exchanged vows and all that. It was such a beautiful wedding. But guy, planning this wedding was so crazy, and I am so thankful that we planned this wedding as quickly as possible, because I could not just imagine all these anxious moments stretching rushing, like people that plan weddings for like 6 months, 1 year. Guy, I cut cap for you guys. You're trying. Just this 1 month that I planned, I was having headache consistently every day till after that wedding. We wanted it to be as small, as intimate as possible, and I also did not want it to be expensive. Economy was so crazy. We still spent a lot of money. But it was as contained as possible, if that makes sense. But yes, let me show you guys a couple of little things that I really loved that was a part of the wedding. I cannot even begin to talk about the vendors that disappointed me. There were a lot of vendors that disappointed me. There were a lot of vendors that almost drove me insane. I do not want to call out any business so that it doesn't seem like I am trying to spoil their business, but honestly, a lot of vendors need to do better. There were a lot of vendors that I spent huge amount of money ordering things from, jewelries. In fact, my cut wedding outfits, the tailor butchered it. I decided to order from another vendor something that I think I could wear. This vendor just delivered nonsense for me. I spent a lot of money, and so I had to pick one of the suits that I already got from 5K everything to wear for that day, and it came out perfectly. I guess God had his own will for this, but honestly, a lot of vendors need to do better. Even the ones I ordered jewelries from, the ones I ordered shoes from, they did nonsense. Someone gave me I ordered for white shoes, she delivered a different color of shoes, and then came back 2 weeks after the wedding to now say I can return it and get a refund, which is stupid, right? Aside from this, lots of vendors disappointed me, and I'm so thankful for my friend Pretty Addy. God bless you, thank you so much, because when I was going insane on these vendors disappointing me a day to my wedding, I don't have my jewelries, I don't have anything. Pretty Addy went into Balogun market for me to go and do all the shopping of every outstanding things that I hadn't gotten for the wedding yet. I was so thankful for her for that. She really did so much for me. One of the things that I really liked about the wedding was the small details. For example, we made tags with our wedding logo and our name and location. This tag is what they give to our guests at the entrance at the venue to show that yes, this is our guest, because we wanted to pay for, in fact, it's just a long story, but yes, we had this. One of the things that I loved the most, I really enjoyed, was this. I love this. I love this. We made this brochure. It's a 2-pager. We made it to welcome people so that they can have the whole order of the day without it looking like the order of the day. I really liked it. It had our name, had our location, it had our wedding ceremony, how we're going to do everything, reception program, it had the wedding party. Before I go, let me just share this with you guys. These are some of the little things that I've learned, especially for my girlies that are going to be planning their wedding soon and those that are going to be getting married in the future. Here's a couple of things that I want you to know when you're planning your wedding. Number one, men are not the kind of people that function under pressure, in the sense that they don't really feel pressured the way we feel pressured for everything to go perfectly. They always have this calmness of whatever it is, we'll sort it out whenever it comes up. Just know that if you're feeling pressured and you're expecting your man to understand, probably might not understand because he's not feeling pressured. Number two, having a great partner who would work with you hand in hand through your wedding planning process is perfection. Not just the type that will just give you money and expect you to just make magic or hire someone to do it. You need someone that would be with you throughout the whole process. Throughout my whole process, my husband was with me, even through the whole wedding drama. Anywhere I'm going, he's going. Shopping, he's going. Whatever he's going. He was so handsome with this wedding, and it made me feel, it didn't make me, I wasn't feeling alone. It made me feel like, yes, I'm actually planning a future with somebody, and he's hands-on. Number three is, do not let anxiety get the better of you. It will make you not enjoy the moment. It will make you not enjoy your planning process, and I promise you, your wedding planning process is something that you definitely want to enjoy. Number four, always have it at the back of your mind that no matter what happens, it is all going to come out perfectly. This would help you to be less angry, less anxious, less depressed, less in your spirit. You see, I'm telling you the honest truth. Planning a wedding is very hectic, emotionally draining, financially draining, physically exhausting, mentally stressful. It is everything that will test you. I'm not even capping, I'm not even exaggerating. Honestly, having it at the back of your mind that everything is going to turn out perfectly no matter what is going on would help you to manage situations, manage the moment, just stay hands-on. And I would not lie, the last but the least tip I'm going to leave with you, which is one of the most important, is you need God. Honestly speaking, God came through for me so much this wedding. Everything I was just calling God. I'm sure God at this point was like, what's wrong with this girl? Like, are you not tired of calling me? I was calling God through it all, and I promise you, it made the whole thing even easier to manage, right? And I'm also going to drop this tidbit with you guys, right? I know they always say it takes a village to raise a family, it takes a village to do this. I would not lie, it takes a village to get married. It takes a village. You need your community, your closest community, your squad. You need everybody to plan a wedding. Having your community with you throughout your wedding process makes it easier. And that is it, you guys, for my wedding podcast. I hope it was insightful. I hope it was entertaining. This is my first time doing this. Please say a prayer for me, for my marriage, for my wedding. And if you're seeking your own life partner, I tap into that anointing and I pray that you find yours. And also, you guys, don't forget to share this, don't forget to like this. If you have any questions, any comments, please drop it and I will respond to every single thing. Don't forget to like, to comment. Please download. Help Dear Naija Girl podcast reach an even bigger audience by downloading and by sharing as well. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to click the like button. See you guys next episode. Bye.